Hey guys, Chris from adapttuition here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to prepare a sales budget for a 3-month period. Okay, so this is one of the newer topics that has been put on the syllabus in about May 2017 for first examination in May 2019. As of the recording of this video, May 2021, it has not yet been brought on any CSEC exam. So in anticipation of the upcoming June, July 2021 exams, I'm making this video to help any students prepare for those exams. Normally I would get into some of the theory behind budgets, but today I want to keep this video a bit shorter than usual. So suffice it to say, budgets are a necessary part of planning. They help us to foresee the dollar amounts of sale. Well, in this case, we're talking specifically about the sales budget, the dollar amounts of sales, and of course the quantity of sales. And it allows us to know, are we going to be earning enough revenue to pay our expenses and to have leftover as profit, and most likely for reinvestment in the business, because that is what keeps the business going. Now, of course, there's a lot more theory behind budget, so I would encourage you to check out your textbook, check out your notes from your teachers, or just go to Google and see what you find. You never know, you might get lucky. And with that said, let's get into the work. So we're taking a look at how to prepare a sales budget. A sales budget is a budget that shows the anticipated sales volume, the number of units, and value, the dollar amount, for a given period, usually with a breakdown by day, week, or month, and a column for the total for the period. Now this total column is something that is optional. I choose to put it because that is how I was taught to do it. Whether or not you should put it should be decided by the format that is given to you in your exam, or by the instructions from your teacher for any assignments due for him or her. Let's take a look at the example. Example 1, no increases. So we read, Dingbat Enterprises expects to sell 5,000 units of product per month at a consistent price of $20 per unit for the foreseeable future. Prepare the sales budget for the months of January, February, and March 2018. Okay, so what are we doing? A sales budget. What does a sales budget show? The sales in terms of the number of units and the total dollar value of sales revenue earned. So that's a simple product. Quantity by price. So we're seeing here, we have the heading, the name of the enterprise, the name of the company, the entity, the name of the statement or the budget, and the period to which it applies. Please remember to head up whatever calculations you're doing. You get marks for that. And as I said, it has a breakdown by month. So in this case, January, February, March, and that was the instruction as per the question. Prepare the sales budget for Jan, Feb, and March 2018. And again, total column, which is optional, but I'm going to maintain because that is just how I was trained. And that's how I want to train you as well. So the first thing we're going to put here is our expected sales in units. Now, where did that come from? That came from here. Dingbat Enterprises expects to sell 5,000 units of product per month. So if we're doing a budget for Jan, Feb, and March, the figure for sales in terms of the number of units sold for each month is going to be put in as 5,000 per month. And of course, you could put a total of 15,000. Next, what do we need to show? We need to show the total revenue earned from selling 5,000 units per month. How do we get that? Well, we have to multiply the number of units by the price per unit. And it says here, those units are going to be sold at a consistent price of $20 per unit. So all we have to do is plug in $20 per unit in the respective columns. So all we have to do now to find the total sales revenue earned per month is multiply. So for January, 5,000 by 20 will give us 100,000. Same thing for February and for March, because the figures were the same. There were no changes. For the total column, of course, to get that, you add up your 5,000, you add up 5,000 3 times to get 15. And for your total, you add up 100,000 3 times to get 300,000. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to give you one now. I'm going to scroll down so you guys can see your example here, your practice question, sorry. Let's take a read. So it says that Troglodyte Incorporated expects to sell 8,000 units per month of product at a consistent price of $30 per unit for the foreseeable future. Prepare the sales budget for the months of April, May, and June 2017. So all you have to do is fill in the information just like the example above. So I would invite you to pause the video now, try the question, and unpause. Okay, let's take a look, shall we? So again, Troglodyte expects to sell 8,000 units per month. So we know the top row is supposed to give us the number of units we expect to sell in each month. Again, it's a constant value of 8,000 per month. And they're being sold at a consistent price of $30 per unit. So that's going to give us $30 in each column. And all we have to do to find the total revenue earned is to multiply going down. So we see in each month, April, May, and June, we have a product of 8,000 units multiplied by $30 per unit, giving us $240,000 per month for a grand total of $720,000 per month. Right, so that was the first example, first practice question. Let's take a look at the next one. Okay, so in example 2, it says volume increases, no calc, as in no calculation. So in the previous question and example, we just had the same amount of units being sold every month. But of course, that's not necessarily realistic. It was just to kind of get your foot in the door, get you accustomed to the calculations and the layout. Let's see what happens. Normally sales, well, the number of units sold every month doesn't stay the same. So let's take a look and see what would happen if that was the case here. Let's take a read. So we have Can I Go Now expects to sell the following numbers of units for the first 3 months of 2019 respectively. So we have 10,000, 12,000 and 15,000. And again, those are for the first 3 months of 2019. So that would mean January, February and March, 10, 12 and 15,000 respectively. The selling price is expected to remain constant at $20. Prepare a sales budget for Jan to March for 2019 for, well, Can I Go Now? So Can I Go Now, sales budget for the month. So again, here we're simply going to put the number of units, which we know is 10,000, 12,000 and 15,000 respectively for January, February and March. And you can put a total of 37 if you like. The next row will show the selling price per unit, which we saw is to remain constant at $20 per unit. So we plug it in, right? And now all we do is we multiply going down to find the sales revenue earned per month. So we see in January we earned 200,000, which was 10,000 by 20. February we earned 240,000, which was 12,000 by 20. And in March we earned 300,000, which was 15,000 by 20. Okay, so with that, and of course, yes, you can have a total column, which you will get by adding going across. Okay, so I want you to try. So we just did Can I Go Now? So you're going to try You Can Go. So You Can Go expects to sell 20,000, 30,000 and 40,000 units of product for the months of July, August and September 2016 respectively at a consistent selling price of $25 per unit. You are to prepare the sales budget for this entity for the period under consideration. Okay, so I'd invite you to take a pause, try the question and unpause so we can correct. Okay, did you try it? Let's take a look. So of course, don't forget to head up You Can Go, sales budget for July to September 2016. So what is the first thing we need? Well, apart from the headings and the columns, right? We need the number of units per month, 20,000, 30,000 and 40,000 respectively for July, August and September. And again, you can add going across to get a total column. Next, we need to multiply the number of units by the selling price per unit, which we are told is going to remain consistent at $25 per unit. We put those values in the respective columns, and now all we have to do is multiply down in each column. So for July, 20,000 by 25 is $500,000. August, 30,000 by 25 is $750,000. And September, 40,000 by 25 is $1,000,000, right? And of course, we get a $2.25 million when we add going across here. Okay, so in this batch of questions, the increase was given to us. We didn't have to calculate it. Let's take a look at what happens when we have to calculate it. So in example 3, we do have increases in the sales volume that we have to calculate. So Where You Gone expects to sell 10,000 units in Jan 2015, but expects sales volume to grow by 20% per month for each of the next 2 months. So it's 10,000 units in January, and we expect that to grow by 20% for each of the next months. So I'm going to carry you through the nitty-gritty of those calculations in the table. Let's just finish with the information, right? So the selling price is expected to remain constant at $20 per unit for the period. Prepare the sales budget for the first 3 months. Okay, so Where You Gone, sales budget for the 3 months, Jan to March 2015. Okay, so the first thing we need is the number of units. So I'm going to put it in and then I'm going to walk you through the calculation, all right? So in January, we expect to sell 10,000 units. So you're seeing 10,000 here, easy peasy. And we expect it to grow by 20% per month for each of the next 2 months. So February sales will be 20% more than January sales. So you're going to find 20% of 10,000, which is 2,000, and add it on to the 10,000, hence the increase. So 10,000 plus 2 is 12,000. Now, to go from February to March, you have to increase by 20% of February sales. Let me repeat that. To find the sales volume, the number of units sold in March, you have to increase February's sales volume, the number of units, by 20%. So the number of units sold in February is 12,000. So you have to find 20% of that figure and add it back onto that figure. 20% of 12,000 is 2,400. When you add that on to 12,000, you're going to get 14,400. Right. So if you have any questions about that calculation, hit me a message in the comments below. I'll go through it again. Now, what we need to do is multiply those figures by the constant selling price, which is 20 per unit. And all we have to do now is multiply going down. So for January, 10,000 by 20 is 200,000. February, 12,000 by 20, 240. And for March, 14,400 by 20, 288. And we could total going across to get 728 to give us a figure for the total sales revenue earned for January, February, and March. First quarter of, well, 2015, I think. Okay, so now we just did where you gone. So I went home. I went home is the question you guys are going to do. So let's take a read. So it says I went home anticipates that sales in March 2017 will be 20,000 units. And that for each of the next 2 months, sales volume will grow by 10% while the selling price will remain constant at $20 per unit. And you have to prepare a sales budget for March, April, and May 2017. Okay, so you know the drill. Take a pause, take a read again, and try the question. Did you try it? Let's take a look at the solution. So I went home, sales budget for March to May 2017. Okay, so for the number of units, we're going to start off with 20,000 and increase by 10% twice. So let's take a look at the figures there. So in March, we have 20,000. 10% of 20,000 is 2,000. 20,000 plus 2,000 will give us the April sales of 22. Then we're going to increase that by 10%. 10% of 22,000 is 2,200. If we add 22,000 to 2,200, we're going to get 24,200. All right, and again, you can add going across to get a total for number of units for that quarter. Now, the selling price is to remain constant at 20 per unit, so we just have to plug that in here. And now all we have to do is multiply going down for each month, and we will get for March, total sales earned, total sales revenue, 400,000. April, 22 by 20 is 440. For May, 24 2 by 20, 484. And we could add going across to get a total sales revenue earned for the quarter. All right, let's take a look at the next section. So let's take a look at example 4. It says volume and price increases 1. Okay, while you gone there, proposes to sell 25,000 units in September 2018 and believes that the sales volume will grow by 20% per month for the following 2 months. Right? It is also anticipated that selling price per unit will be $10 in September, 12 in October, and 15 in November, and they want a sales budget. So what we're seeing here is now not only is the number of units being sold increasing, but the selling price is increasing as well. So we have two things that are increasing. So before in all the examples, the selling price was the same. That was static for the period under consideration. But now it is no longer static. So we need to be able to cater for that. Again, it's more or less plug and play. So let's take a look and see. So the 25,000 in September, and it's going to increase by 20,000 per month. So let's plug in those figures, shall we? Right, so expected sales, we have 25,000. Now 20% of 25,000 is 5,000. 25 plus 5 is 30. 20% of 30 is 6,000. 30,000 plus 6,000 is 36,000. Right. And again, we could add going across, and we should be good to go. Now let's plug in the selling price in each month. So in each month it changed. 10 in September, 12 in October, 15 in November. So we're going to plug those in the respective columns, right? 10 in September, 12 in October, 15 in November. And all we have to do now is multiply going down. 2 for September, 250 by 10 is 250. For October, 30 by 12 is 360. For November, 36 by 15 is 540. And we can add going across to get a total for the entire quarter. Well, for that 3-month period, right? So again, what we have in this question that we didn't have in the previous ones is now the selling price is increasing, but we didn't have to calculate it. It was given to us. Okay, so I want you guys to try the next question that I'm going to show you all now, which is, so we just did why you gone there. So I had a real bad, expects to sell 36,000 units in May 2015 and anticipates that sales volume will grow by 25% per month for the next 2 months. The selling price per unit is expected to be $20 in May, 25 in June, and 30 in July. So they want a sales budget for that period. So I'll invite you now to take a pause, take a read, try the question. Did you try it? How did it go? Let's take a look. So we have 36,000 in units in May, and it's increasing by 25% per month for the next 2 months. So let's plug it in, all right? So we have 36,000 in May. 25% of 36,000, that's a quarter. A quarter of 36 is 9. 36 and 9 will give us 45. A quarter of that is 11,250. So we're going to get 56,250. Right, so I hope you had your calculators handy or you're doing your mental arithmetic. Good to practice that. And we could add going across to get a total for the number of units sold for that 3-month period. Now, the selling price per unit varied 20 in May, 25 in June, and 30 in July. Let's plug those figures in the respective columns. So again, 20 in May, 25 in June, 30 in July. And all we have to do now is multiply to get those figures down there. So 36,000 by 20 is 720 for May. For June, 45 by 25 is 1.125 million. And for July, that part is, well, $1.6875 million. And we add going across to see that we earn a little more than $3.5 million in sales revenue for that 3-month period, which is pretty nice. All right, let's see what else we have in store here now. Okay, so for example 5, there are volume and price increases. 2, what is 2? So you coming back expects to sell 25,000 units in the first month 2017 and believes that sales will grow by 2,000 units per month for the next 2 months. So here we don't have a percentage increase for the sales units, the sales volume, sorry. We have a straight number figure. So all we have to do is add that same 2,000 every month. The selling price per unit will start at $16 and increase by 25% per month for the next 2 months. So now they've put the percentage increase on the selling price. So it's kind of, they're just shifting around where they put the changes, but it's just to give you a bit of mental flexibility. And they want a sales budget using this information. So again, head up. So you coming back, sales budget for the 3 months, Jan to March 2017. So the first thing we're going to put is the sales unit. So it's 25,000 in the first month and then increase by 2,000 per month thereafter. So 25 plus 2 is 27, plus 2 is 29. Let's see if we have those figures here. All right, so yes, so 25 in Jan, 27 in Feb, and 29 in March. Sorry about the crowding with the highlighting there. Now, the selling price. So it starts off at 16 in Jan and increases by 25% per month for the next 2 months. 25% is a quarter, so a quarter of 16 is 4. 16 and 4 is 20. A quarter of 20 is 5. 20 and 5 is 25. There you have it. So let's take a look and see what it looks like there. So we're seeing, right, so 16, right? So it starts off at 16 in January and will increase by 25%. So yeah, those arrows were just, again, for illustrative purposes. Please don't write those arrows when you are doing your answers, your solutions, okay? And all we have to do to find the total sales revenue earned is multiply going down. So 25,000 in January, 25,000 by 16 is 400,000. For February, 27,000 by 20 is 540. March, 29,000 by 25, 725. All right, cool. So let's take a look at what you guys have to do now. So we just did you coming back. Yes, just now anticipates that sales for April 2016 will be 30,000 units and will thereafter increase by 20% and 25% in the next 2 months respectively. That's interesting. The selling price per unit is expected to be 20 in April and will increase by $5 per unit for each of the next 2 months. Okay, so this was a little differently flavored than the previous example. So I wonder how you guys will try it. You know what? I believe in you guys. You guys can handle this. And even if you make any mistakes, that's okay. You're here to learn. And mistakes are part of the process. They help us grow. All right? So take a pause, take a read, try the question, and we'll take a look at it after. Okay, are you ready? Okay, so we have yes, just now anticipates, okay, so 30,000 units in April and will increase thereafter by 20% and 25% in the next 2 months respectively. Okay, so let's start it off. So of course, don't forget to head up, please, right? Yes, just now, sales budget for April to June 2016. All right, lovely. So the number of units we're going to start off with. So expected sales, so 30,000. So again, April is 30,000. The first increase is 20%. So 20% of 30,000 is 6,000. 30,000 plus 6,000 is 36,000. The increase for the next month is 25%. So 25% of 36, a quarter of 36 is 9. 9 and 36 is 45. And we can add going across to get the total for the total column there, if you so desire. Next, the selling price per unit is expected to be $20 in April and will increase by $5 per unit for each of the next 2 months. So from April to May, 20 and then 25, an increase of 5. And then from May to June, 25 plus 5 is 30. So let's plug those figures in, shall we? Right, so we see April has 20, May has 25, June has 30. And now to find total revenue, we simply multiply going down. So 30,000 by 20 is 600,000. 36 by 25 is 900. 45 by 30 is 1.35 million. And again, you can add going across to find the total sales revenue earned. Okay, I think I have one more thing for you guys in this video. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so it says example 6, volume and price increases 3. So how soon sold 40,000 units in March 2018 at a unit price of $20? Okay, for the next 3 months, sales volume is expected to grow by 25%, 20%, and 10% respectively. So we have 3 different percentages. The unit selling price is expected to increase by 20%, then 25%, and thereafter expected to remain constant. Prepare the sales budget for the 3-month period, April to June 2018. Oh, check this. So they gave us the information for sales for March, but they want the sales budget for April to June. So how are we going to do this? Well, we read, we understand, and we execute. Let's give it a try. So, of course, we head up, right? How soon, sales budget for the 3 months, blah, blah, blah. So the number of units, so in April, right? April is the month after March. So we sold 40,000 in March. And for the next 3 months, sales volume is expected to grow by 25%, then 20%, then 10%. So from March to April, that's the first percentage change, that's 25%. And then from April to May, it's 20% of April sales. And then from May to June, it's an extra 10% from May to June. So let me plug in the figures and we'll do the arithmetic. Right, so in April, we have 50,000. How did we get 50,000? We sold 40,000 in March, and we were expecting to grow sales by 25% from March to April. 25% is a quarter. A quarter of 40 is 10. 40 and 10 will give us 50. Now from April to May, we're expecting to increase sales volume by 20%. That's 1/5. So from April to May, it's an increase of 1/5. And then 1/5 of 50,000 is 10,000. 50,000 and 10,000 is 60,000. So that's May's sales. And then from May to June, we're expecting to increase by 10%. 10% of 60. So 10% of 60 is 6. 60 plus 6 is 66. All right, so if you need to, rewind the video, watch it again, if you need to go over that section again, right? Make it make sense to you. And again, if you have any questions, ask them in the comment section below. I'm happy to answer. Okay. Now, what about the selling price? So the unit selling price is expected to increase by 20%, then 25%, and thereafter expected to remain constant. So the selling price in March was $20, expected to increase by 20%. So let's plug in the figures and we'll do the arithmetic after. So we have 24. How did we get 24? So $20 was the March selling price, and it was going to increase by 20%. 20% is 1/5 of 20. Well, 20% is 1/5. 1/5 of 20 is $4. 20 plus 4 will give us 24. Now from April to May, we're expecting it to increase by 25%. So that's 25% of 24. That's a quarter of 24, which is 6. And 24 and 6 will give us 30. And then it said thereafter expected to remain constant. So from May onwards, it's expected to remain constant. So there's no increase from May to June. Now, all we have to do to find total sales revenue is to multiply going down. So for April, 50 by 24 is 1.2 million. For May, 60 by 30 is 1.8. And for June, 66 by 30 is 1.98. And we can have a total for that period going up by adding across. Adding the totals going across from left to right. Okay, so I have one for you guys to try. So this is just now. So we did how soon? Just now. Right? So 20,000 units in December 2017. She expects sales volume to increase by 25%, 20%, and 30% respectively in the next 3 months. So the selling price was $16 per unit, but is expected to increase by 50% in January, then 25% in February, and then remain level at that level, for the next 3 months. So using this information, you are required to prepare a sales budget for the first quarter 2018. So I'm going to give you a chance to take a pause, try the video, use the example above in order to help you if you need to, right? And by believing you can do it. So sales in December was 20,000 units, and she's expecting it to increase by 25%, then 20, then 30. So for January, it'll be 25% higher than December. So you know what? Let's plug in the figures and do the arithmetic after. Right. So 20,000 units, an increase of 25% is an increase of a quarter. A quarter of 20 is 5. 20 and 5 is 25. Then we're going to increase by 20% from Jan to Feb. 20% is a fifth. 1/5 of 25 is 5. 25 and 5 is 30. And then from February to March is an increase of 30%. 30% of 30 is 9. 30 and 9 will give us 39. And we can add going across if we so desire to get a total. Now, selling price. Let's put in the figures and talk about the arithmetic after. Right, so we have that the selling price in December was $16 per unit, but we wanted to increase by 50% in Jan. So 50% of 16 is 8. 16 and 8 is 24. And then it's going to increase by 25% in February. 25% is a quarter. A quarter of 24 is 6. 6 and 24 is 30. And remain at that level for the next 3 months. So if it remains at 30, then March's selling price per unit is the same as February's. And now all we have to do is multiply going down to find the total revenue in each of the months. So for January, 25,000 by 24 is 600. For February, 30,000 by 30 is 900. For March, 39 by 30 is 1.17 million. And we get a grand total by going across for a little more than 2.5 million there. Okay guys, so that's about it for this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. If you want to check any more videos, I'm going to put some cards up here. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you know every time I release a new video. Check out my website for free PoA handouts. And thank you so much for watching. And until next time, guys, take care of yourself, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.